What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the top 3 best Blunderbuss builds in New World Season 10. This new update has shaken up the meta with the new sets, reworked perks, and some of the wildest artifact synergies we've ever seen. No matter if you're playing Wars, OPR, PvE content, or the new Nighthaven raid, the meta is completely evolving. So today we are breaking down different builds, from Glass Cannon Assassins and Fire Staff Blasters to the Hatchet Berserkers and much more. This Blunderbuss and Fire Staff build is a hybrid frontline DPS setup. By using Molten Storm of the Shrapnel, Flame and Relentless Sustain, it thrives on overwhelming pressure and close range burst, by chaining explosions from the Blunderbuss with the Searing Infernos from the Fire Staff. Built around a strength-based firepower and intelligent spell casting, this build turns you into a self-sustaining engine of destruction by darting in and out of combat with light armor, mobility and devastating AoE control. For attributes we want 350 strength, 50 intelligence and 100 constitution. The strength will fuel our Blunderbuss to hit like a cannon, while intelligence will supplement our Fire Staff burns for the bonus elemental scaling. Constitution ensures that you don't crumble the moment that you dive in. We get just enough toughness to survive while keeping your explosive tempo. And we go with the light armor, as you will gain essential 20% bonus damage and unparalleled dodge freedom, which will make your rotation much smoother and evasive. Then let's take a look at the Blunderbuss and its tune for the pure chaos and close quarter pressure. The Azot Shrapnel Blast, Net Shot and the Splitting Grenade will form our next trio. The Shrapnel Blast is our opener and the finisher. It's short-ranged, widespread and lethal when point blank. Then Net Shot roots targets and slows their retreat by giving you the control window that is needed to dump grenades and shrapnel for the maximum burst. And then Splitting Grenade caps the combo by scattering fragments that detonate in the cluster of explosions. Every hit here will benefit from the perks like Attuned, Vicious and the Stain Infliction by letting our dots linger longer and hit harder. And then a Diamond Gem on our weapons will boost our overall damage output while granting sustain when healed or empowered. And then for your secondary, the Inferno Fire Staff will transform the battlefield into a fiery graveyard. You're running Meteor Shower, Fireball and the Burnout, which is the full Inferno rotation. The Meteor Shower will open fights with a burning rain, covering the area in a sustained dots. Then Fireball follows immediately by detonating on the impact for a burst of burn damage that benefits from the extended duration via the burning perk. And then Burnout is both an escape and initiation tool. This is a fiery dash that ignites enemies while repositioning. Our staff's inner power passive will grant us dual scaling with the strength and intelligence, which ensures that every hit synergizes perfectly with our Blunderbuss setup. Then the gear ties everything together. The Hoplite Mask and Hoplite Hand Covers both provide Enchanted Ward, refreshing and key skill perks, like Leeching Shrapnel Blast and the Plague Splitting Grenade, that keeps our sustain and the crowd control very high. Then Cloud Shirt will offer Vicious, Keenly Empowered and the Lifestealer's Jot, by giving us lifesteal and the burst empowerment with every critical hit. Then Attuned Leather Pants and the Azot Critical Boots will round out our defenses by adding well-rounded, shirking energy and the health. Overall, this build has the perfect balance between durability and explosive DPS. Then our jewelry will further boost the sustain and utility. The Exemplary Amulet will carry Keenly Fortified and a strike protection, which gives us short bursts of Fortify and reduced incoming strike damage. Then the Spectral Wrath Ring will enhance offense with Vicious, Enraged Leech and Enchanted Totality, which is perfect for pushing into sustained melee fights. Meanwhile, the Exemplary Earring delivers refreshment and Enchanted Ward by improving cooldown cycling and survivability through the reduced incoming treads. Then our Heart Rune, the Stalwart Heart Rune of the Bile Bomb, will complement our loadout with a Crippling Bile and the Mending Bile, which allows us to slow groups while healing allies off their damage. It got a perfect synergy for AoE heavy engagements. And lastly, for the rotation, it follows two phases. First, we open with the Inferno skills, so Meteor Shower and the Fireball, to layer dots and set the stage. Then transition to the Blunderbuss and use Grenade, then Auto Attack, then the Net Shot, then another Auto, and then the Shrapnel Blast. This quick but specific rotation will combine attacks for maximum burst. Then as your Blunderbuss abilities go on cooldown, we return back to the Fire Staff to reapply Infernal Burns and then reset positioning with the Burnout. Remember, always use your abilities right after an auto attack to maximize the burst windows. This is the Explosive Trapper build, the Blunderbuss and a musket, which is a setup that looks chaotic, feels insane and somehow manages to balance pure fun with a high-end performance. It's a hybrid burst build that rewards precision, timing and a touch of madness. The concept is simple: control the fight. explode everything on the screen, and keep yourself alive through the self-healing and the smart positioning. So let's start with the attributes. The 350 intelligence breakpoint will supercharge all of your explosion-based abilities, so everything from the splitting grenade to the powder burn will scale beautifully with the intelligence. Then 100 dexterity gives your musket that needed crit and reload speed, while 75 constitution keeps you from getting one-shot when things get messy. Overall, this build is a glass cannon but not fragile. This stat line will give you just enough breathing room to drop your bombs and roll out. Then for the weapons, and the musket is your main hand here, built around the traps, burn damage and the cooldown cycling. You're using the powder burn, power shot and the traps. Powder burn is key, because this build scales off elemental damage, and the fire dot triggers multiple passives that enhance our overall DPS. Power shot is your finisher, it's clean, fast and hits like a truck. The traps are what defines this build though. They will bleed enemies for 16% weapon damage over 5 seconds, and this bleed time is nearly permanent. Plus every trap will give you acceleration and the movement speed, up to 33% haste, so you're constantly sprinting between engages. And then next up we have the Blunderbuss. You're running Azad Shrapnel Blast, the Claw Shot and the Splitting Grenade. Shrapnel Blast and Splitting Grenade will form your explosive combo. If you time it right, both will detonate almost simultaneously and chunk enemies for massive damage. The Claw Shot is your control in the gap closer. It lets you zip into the melee range, set traps under enemies, and chain explosions before they even know what happened. The combination of these skills is what makes this build feel so alive. If you can nail it when every explosion goes off sync, then you don't see just numbers, you will see entire health bars disappear. In terms of gear, light armor is non-negotiable. You will need that 20% damage modifier and the freedom to dodge through the danger. You want to prioritize refreshing and enchanted ward across your set, and then add in perks like the leashing Shrapnel Blast, keen awareness and the health round out sustain. Then winged leather boots are incredible here, by extending your haste duration and giving that 10% damage while hasted. The synergy between the accelerated traps, dodge haste, and these boots will turn you into a blur of explosions and the gunfire. And then for the gems we're using 2 rubies on both the weapons. Then for the jewelry, you want to aim for divine and the health on the amulet, with shirking empower or protection. Then on the ring, the hearty, fire damage and the leeching will fit perfectly, amplifying both your musket burns and the blunderbuss detonations. And then the earring should have refreshing toast, regeneration and the nimble. This will give you constant stamina and potion uptime, while keeping you alive when the screen fills with chaos. Overall, your rotation is a mix of a setup and burst. You can start by throwing your trap through the target and then apply bleed. Then follow that up with the powder burn for the fire dot, then switch to the blunderbuss. Then fire your Azad Shrapnel Blast immediately. Then throw the splitting grenade and detonate with the powder shot, or another trap if they're still standing. If you time it right, all of these explosions will hit in the same second, and that's when you see 10,000 plus damage. Between cooldowns, you can use the Claw Shot to reposition or chase fleeing targets, and doubling down from the Blunderbuss tree will help to reset those key abilities, so you can repeat your combo much more faster. The Blunderbuss and the Hatchet build is relentless brawler that fuses explosive firepower with feral aggression. This setup thrives on proximity. You dive headfirst into clumps, detonate everything and then carve through the survivors with a berserker's fueled speed. Pretty much every fight will consist of gunfire, access and detonations. Then for attributes, the build runs 350 strength, 150 dexterity and 25 constitution. This optimizes damage without completely sacrificing survivability. The strength is the foundation, it fuels both weapons, giving the hatchet devastating melee power and maximizing the blunderbuss's explosions. Then dexterity sharpens your crits and reload speed, which is perfect between combining shots and swings, and then constitution will set low at 25. Next up, let's take a look at the Blunderbuss's tree. We are running the Azad Shrapnel Blast, Net Shot and the Splitting Grenade. Net Shot slows and locks enemies in place, priming them for detonation. Then Splitting Grenade follows, by scattering fragments that erupt across the battlefield. And then we finish the combo with a Shrapnel Blast at close range. It's your execution tool, shredding everything inside 10 meters. The weapon Flame's attunement and disdain infliction perks will empower your dots and extend their uptime, while Vicious makes every critical shot lethal. Then we socket opal gems on both of the weapons to benefit from the frequent dodging and the stamina management. which boosts damage while we're not at full stamina, and it is perfect for light armor mobility build. And then next comes the hatchet, your melee counterpart and sustained DPS core. The trio of the Berserker, Rending Throw, and the Raging Torrent will defy this rhythm. Berserk starts every fight with a surge of damage, movement speed, and self-healing that lets you tear into groups fearlessly. And then lastly, the Raging Torrent is our finisher, by unleashing a rapid flurry of strikes that scale harder with every enemy around you. The hatchet skin Berserk and compounding Torrent perks will multiply critical hit chance and the base damage, which makes our build vicious in extended fights. Overall, each hit will build into the next one, and it rewards aggressive, non-stop chaining. Then next for armor, the build keeps a balance of flexibility and survivability. The Hoplite Mask will provide Enchanted Ward, refreshing and key perk empowering Rendering Throw, that grants plus 19% damage against targets that been hit by the Rending Throw. Then the Cloud Shirt will add Vicious, Keen, and the Lifestealish Jot, or Critical Sustain and the Lifesteal Synergy. Then Hoplite Handcovers will carry Refreshing, Enchanted Ward, and Health, keeping cooldown short and durability steady. Then Attuned Leather Pants will deliver plus 9 to all attributes, Shirking Energy and the Enchanted Ward, which enhances our stamina recovery and gives that little bit of extra resilience in the thick of it. And then the Azul Crystal Boots round out the set with a Health, Refreshing, and Enchanted Ward by capping off our gear, and it feels deceptively light yet brutally efficient. Then for accessories, the Arboreal Exemplary Amulet will grant Keenly Fortified and the Strike Protection, giving your bursts of Fortify and reduced incoming damage. Then the Spectral Wrath Ring adds Vicious, Enraged Leech, and Enchanted Totality, ensuring that every swing and every shot will sustain you and boost your DPS under pressure. Then Exemplary Earring will complement the set with Refreshment and Enchanted Ward by feeding into the cooldown cycling and reducing overall threat generation, and it is great for solo or hybrid groups. Then for the Heart Rune, the Stalwart Heart Rune of the Bile Bomb will remain the finishing piece. It delivers Aerial Denial and Anti-Heal utility, which creates a diseased cloud that lingers, dealing 100% Heart Rune damage per second while crippling enemy healing. It's perfect for forcing enemies to stay in the damage zone, especially when combined with the Net Shoot and the Splitting Grenade. And then finally, our rotation blends Ranged Burst with melee Carnage. We open with the Inferno to apply burns and keep it rolling whenever dots fade, then trigger Berserk to power up, follow with the Rending Throw for armor debuff, then Raging Torrent into the light attacks, and then swap back to the Blunderbuss mid combo and use Grenade, Auto Attack, Night Shot, then again Auto, then Shrapnel Blast, then one more Auto, and always use abilities right after your autos for the peak damage and the windows. Once the cooldowns are spent, then go back to the hatchet and re-engage with the Berserker.